Welcome, everyone, to episode 2. We want to thank everyone who listened to episode 1. We've got segments, and more segments here on Scooch Ovaries.
Scooch over.
Hey, can you scooch over?
You want me to scooch over?
Just a little bit. Scooch.
Scooch?
Scooch.
Scooch. Scooch Ovaries! Hey, Robin, that was a great intro.
Thank you. It only took me one time.
I know that that's true.
Yeah. It took me like several. Just a little inside baseball.
We are professionals, and by professional, we mean we don't get paid.
Yet, my friend, we don't get paid yet.
Yet. Hey, Robin.
Hey, Mary.
It's so good to see you today.
It's great to see you.
I hope that people enjoyed episode 1.
I enjoyed episode 1.
I enjoyed episode 1 too. So at least we've got 2 fans.
And really, that's all you need. It's just the 2.
I mean, we have multiple fans.
We do. We have more than one fans.
We do. We have people who follow us, and 3 of them are us.
Yeah.
We don't know how that happened.
Well, then there's like our secondary account, and then the account we forgot about, and then still followed us. So
I think there's a ghost account somewhere too. Probably. I'm not sure.
yeah. So there's lots of accounts following our Scooch Ovaries account.
Hey, they said it couldn't be done, but here we are at episode 2.
I know. They are most always wrong.
And by they, I mean us.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a theme.
And by they, we also mean the accounts that we forgot we had and then rectified them.
Oh, do you ever do that? Like Google yourself and find out there's YouTube videos of yourself doing comedy in like other countries, and they have weird names on the videos.
When we did our Kathy Gaynor Corporate Trainer podcast, I think we were kind of a hit in Korea. I mean, I say a hit, like 30 people watched it.
That's a hit to me.
That's a hit to me.
It's more than 2.
It's more, and spoiler alert, we had 0 Korean speaking in it.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Not on purpose. Our DEI committee failed miserably. They didn't even try.
They didn't even mention like, oh, hey, maybe brush up on your South Korean. No,
right?
Nothing.
No. And by DEI committee, I mean us. And that's 3 times. And I'll leave that alone now. Will I though? No.
It's going to come back up.
I love that the podcast is going to have segments.
So many segments.
So many. And you know what I really love is something that you told me earlier today is every time you talk to someone and you mention this podcast to them and you say the name of it, what is the reaction you get?
I get laughter. I did a kind of a weird little open mic, but they asked me to promote anything. And I said, oh, I have a whole new podcast called Scooch Ovaries. And a room full of people like genuinely laughed.
Genuinely laughed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going for.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we don't need that fake laugh.
We don't need the fake laugh. We don't need the kind smiles or the pity guffaw. It was a genuine laugh.
Or like when someone would literally say out loud, "That's funny." That happened a lot to me. Yeah. That's funny. Could you laugh?
Could you laugh? Yeah. Or, oh, good one. No, I need laughter. I need laughter. So I get you, my friend.
It's important. Now, earlier today, you asked me if I had new glasses, and now I am remiss because I feel like I want to say to you, do you have new glasses?
No, I've had these. I feel like I'm making mouth sounds, so I'm sorry about that. I have had these glasses since April 2023, so it's been a while.
So pretty much you and I really not very observant people, not the people to go to at a crime scene to say, can you describe the perpetrator? We'd be like, hey, he had new glasses.
I'd be like, I remember seeing him, but I was thinking about my glasses, so I didn't pay attention.
And my next appointment is coming up, and I don't know. Should I get new frames? It's a big decision. I don't know. These seem okay. These aren't the segments we decided to talk about.
No, I was just thinking, like, we had a whole, like, pre-meeting where we wrote a bunch of segments, and we're not talking about any of them.
No. You know what I like is craft services.
The craft services here is phenomenal. They made me fresh bacon this morning.
Fresh bacon.
Yeah,
Fresh bacon they made.
that was delicious.
And by they, I mean me.
But they, I mean you.
And that's the fourth time I did the joke, but I made it a twist of just me, not us.
You did. You put a little spin on it.
Still a tired joke. But I've given it to you anyway.
So Mary, how was your week?
Trying to get on the segments there, Robin?
That's my smoothless transition of our new segment is called How Was Your Week?
Let's do that. Let's do that segment. But I guess we should say like our full names. I feel like people need to hear our full names.
Oh, sure. Hey, Mary Tischbein, how was your week?
Well, Robin Savage, we nailed it.
We did. That was so authentic.
My week was interesting. It was not the typical week.
It was not.
A lot happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go into every single aspect of the week, but I will mention the fact that I guess the Olympics is starting.
It is. We'll go into how much we want to reveal of when we're taping or not, how much we want to keep evergreen, which will be in another segment. But yes, the Olympics has started, so there's a lot of talk about the Olympics.
There was a lot of action in my life, actually. I'll just talk about it for a second.
Sure.
Some family health stuff, but it all turned out great.
Oh, good.
Apparently Joe Biden stepped down, and then we had the Olympics. Wait, what? That
What?
second one, I kind of skipped over that.
What? Yeah.
Second one.
Joe Biden, the president of the United States, has stepped down saying, hey, I'm not going to run. Let me hand the torch to someone a lot younger. And that's not politics.
No.
That's history.
Oh, much better.
Yes.
Right? We can call it history.
Mm-hmm. History
like
in the
that.
making.
It is which rhymes with bacon, which was delicious.
So good.
So Joe said, yeah, I'm too old. I'm going to maybe... He didn't say those words. I mean, I didn't listen. But he split, and it made room for the vice president, Kamala Harris, to take his place, which I was super excited because I knew I'm trying really hard not to follow things anymore because of the sadness and the end of the world and the hopelessness and
The absolute despair. Yeah, I get
that
it.
one.
Yeah, I
That
get
one.
it.
So I wasn't really paying attention. But when I heard this happened, I had done a little research enough to know that she's the only one who could obtain and use his war chest of donations.
Yes, I got that too, because when they made the check out, it wasn't to Joseph Biden. It was the Biden-Harris campaign. So if you still had Harris of the Biden-Harris campaign, you could spend all the money previously donated. However, once it just became the Harris campaign, they just backed the truckload of money up.
It's history. It's not politics.
It's history. It's not politics.
We're going to use that a lot.
We are. I have a feeling that's going to be our new theme. Like, hey, we're not a political podcast, but if it's history, you got to talk about it.
It's historical. It's important to note.
Yeah.
Robin, tell me your emotion. What was the one that came to you when you heard the news? What was the first emotion?
The first emotion, honestly, was panic. Like, oh, did we just go from bad to worse? And then when I saw just kind of the ray of light and the people supporting it, I was like, oh no, this was a light at the end of the tunnel. This was like when Kimmy Schmidt walked out of the bunker. Thank you. I was the underground bunker. Like, this was me kind of being afraid and then like squinching my eyes and being like, oh no, there's new stuff, fresh air, civilization.
Yes.
So
yeah, I think I had a little trepidation immediately followed by relief. And then something I didn't recognize. It took a minute. And it was hope.
yeah.
And I was, oh, what's that feeling? So sudden and new.
So
Wicked. What is this feeling? So sudden and new. I think I can get in trouble for singing that, but we're not like a network TV show. So I was pretty happy about it. I was relieved. I was happy, and I think we'll be touching on this as we move along in the podcast. It'll come up here and there because it is July, August-ish. It's summertime.
yeah.
And the election is in like 100 days or 90-something days. So things will keep happening and things will change and things will shift, and we will be here to keep you up to date on it about a week or two later.
I was going to say, not too up to date.
Now, which brings us to a term that Robin's trying to teach me, which I think she made up and she's fucking with me. I use the word topical when I talk about things that are timely. Apparently, Robin's got some new phrase, which I thought was a tree, but go ahead, tell the friends and fans what it is.
It is evergreen.
It's made
So
up.
when we're having our super professional pre-show meetings,
It's fucking ridiculous. It's such a mess. It takes 3 hours
and we're usually on our phone, like scrolling stuff.
trying to figure out how to update something.
Yeah, trying to figure out like Instagram and what exact like Instagram account are we on. But when we try to come up with segments, a lot of times I'm like, we may not be as topical because we're the way we film it and and record it.
Topical. Topical's the word.
Yeah. So do we like peek behind the curtains and sort of like say like, oh, what we're talking about maybe not be up to date? I was thinking we need to be more evergreen. So evergreen meaning it could be anytime, any place. So, if you talked about politics, you can kind of time date it depending on what you're talking about. But if you talk about a relationship, with your family or bacon, like that is evergreen. It could be at any time, any place. But there's so much going on. I feel like we'd almost be remiss not to mention it. It's just the listener may not get to it in a timely manner.
And that was a great explanation. I just want to share that if you slowly cook the bacon in a frying pan on top of the stove and don't microwave it, and you buy a really good quality bacon, that's what happens. Sorry, I was pretty excited about the bacon as well. I rarely eat bacon, but I think it's important to talk about how delicious that fucking bacon was. And I made the scrambled eggs because who we kidding? I'm craft services. So Robin does provide lunch, though.
I do.
She brings us wonderful sushi from where?
From not just Publix, but West Chase Publix.
The fancy Publix.
It's the fancy Publix. It's not my Publix, but I go there for the sushi, and it does not disappoint. It is delicious.
I'm always happy about it, and it's delicious and wonderful. And, kudos to Publix, a potential sponsor.
A potential sponsor, but this is my kind of critique at Publix. Publix, what up? Like, treat all your stores the same. I got to go to a fancy neighborhood to get fancy sushi? Be bringing the good sushi to my Publix. Sorry, Publix. Keeping it real.
They fucking tore down my Publix. It's just gone.
That's true.
It's a hole in the parking lot. There's Target, and then there's like, what happened over there? Yeah, it's just gone.
Yeah.
It's going to be 18 months, they said. And then they said next year. I'm like, I don't think you guys understand the math part. That's not next year. 18 months is a year and a half.
Is a year and a half.
Yeah. So I, of course, immediately when I read the sign the first time, I thought, I'm going to be 62 and a half when that opens. I did that math. That's where I went, how old will I be when Publix opens again? Because it's so much trouble. Meanwhile, there's a Publix across the street from my job, so I can go in the morning, lunch, or at night on the way home. It's not a problem. But it's a city Publix, and it's small.
So it doesn't have the good sushi.
It has good sushi if you go early enough in the day.
Okay.
You got to go early.
You got to go early for the good sushi.
I have no idea what we were talking about. Evergreen.
Evergreen. We are talking about evergreen. You know what's evergreen? Public sushi.
Yes.
At any time, someone could listen to this and be like, oh, I know when they filmed it, or I know when they recorded it. You could talk about public sushi 6 months ago. You can talk about it 3 years from now.
You are limiting yourself if you say it costs $5, though, because then we all know it was Wednesday.
We all know it was $5. You know what happened to me one time? And this was a really great day.
Testify.
I went on Thursday, and the lady goes, oh, you missed $5 Wednesday. And I go, oh, that's okay. I knew it was Thursday. And she goes, for being honest, I'm going to give it to you for $5. So I got $5 sushi on a Thursday.
So because you can tell time and read a calendar, that nice lady at Publix said you could have it.
Yeah,
because
she thought, and what does that say about me? That she thought I was only getting sushi because I thought it was $5 Wednesday. And I was like, no, I knew it was Thursday. I just really wanted sushi.
She looked at you and thought that woman can't afford Thursday sushi.
Aren't you a comedian? You are here on the wrong day.
Thursday sushi. I would name my band Thursday Sushi.
Thursday sushi. So I feel like that sushi tasted public sushi always tastes good, but it tasted even better because I got a Wednesday price on Thursday sushi.
Well, that's because you're super cheap. Look, it's all about being transparent and authentic, right?
It is.
Yeah, I'm bad with money.
I was willing to pay full Thursday prices for that.
$7.99.
Depending on the roll, it could be more. It could be more.
Here's an important question: tuna or salmon?
Salmon all day, every day.
Not even a delay.
No, all day, every day. How about you?
Yeah, salmon.
Okay.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of people who like spicy tuna.
I don't dislike tuna, but I really like salmon.
I feel like it's healthier.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know, it's delicious, man.
It's wonderful.
It is.
Man?
Is
that
bruh,
a thing now?
Bruh, it's really good. Dude, bruh. Starting to talk like my 20-year-old son. Bruh.
Does he say dude and bruh?
He said dude and bro since he was about 8. Bruh.
Oh.
Dude. Bruh.
That's adorable. Yeah. Are the regular words too long? He's exhausted. It's a lot to carry because he's tall.
He is, but to his defense, when he talks to me, he kind of talks like a regular person. But when he's like talking to his friends or he's on the video games, he's like, dude, bruh, dude. So, I mean, he doesn't call me. Well, I shouldn't take that back. There have been times I've been like, I am not your bro. So, but I think that's all boys these days.
Do you have your hands on your waist, like your hands on your hips when you say that? I'm not your bro.
I'm not your bro. I'm your mom. Show me respect.
Oh my God.
I don't say that.
I can picture this though, and you're looking up.
I am looking up. He's a tall boy. He's a tall drink of water. He's as handsome as he can be.
Do you know what I said the other day at work?
What'd you say?
I'm so glad this came up. There was a man that to me was not attractive. But maybe other people would find him attractive, but I did not. And I said, he's a tall drink of water, but he's tap.
That's good.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
And then my boss always yells at me, Mary, write it down, because that's how I've trained her now.
Mary, write it down.
Write that down.
Now, I wonder if you didn't have the pause, like, that's a tall drink of tap water. No, I think it was funnier with the
that's
with the
a tall
pause.
drink of water, pause. But he's tap.
Yeah.
He's not Fiji. There's lots of tags.
He's not the spring water.
No, that's tap.
Yeah, that's tap water for you.
Yeah, and I said that to someone and it took him a second because I didn't say tap water because then it turns into, Mary, you pronounce water strangely. I'm like, that's not the point. The joke's the point. The joke's always the point.
The joke's always the point.
That's funny though, right?
Yeah, that's really funny.
Drink of water. Thank you. See, it still works.
But it's tap. Yeah, of course it does.
Thank you. It's very nice.
Of course it does.
Well, you know, I mean, we actually, okay, so we covered Evergreen.
We covered Evergreen.
A little more on, you're laughing at Evergreen?
No, I'm laughing at what's next on my list, which is probably not what's next on your list, because what's next on my list is stupid.
Well, mine's not stupid.
What's yours?
It's me asking you how your week was, but specifically, maybe you want to talk about a comedy show you did.
Oh, okay. My week was really great. I did a comedy show at the Moose Lodge, and it was I Am Seated. The feature was a gentleman from Pasco County named Tom Hannafy, did a great job. And then the headliner was my friend and your friend, Catherine Maloney, and she just killed it.
She destroyed, I hear. Mm-hmm. Mash, 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 if you will.
Now, to give a little background on Catherine Maloney, we all started together, and I've seen her just grow over the years. But what I saw, oh my gosh, what I saw on Saturday, she's just there. Like she's just arrived.
She's evolved into a woman who is comfortable on stage, speaking about anything she wants to speak about in real time.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, a lot of the jokes she had done before, but she had the comfort of like sitting at someone's kitchen table and just holding court.
So, did she misname the place though?
It was at the Moose Lodge, and I counted twice when she called it the Elks Club.
Close enough.
You know what? They didn't care. They loved her so much. It didn't matter.
Look, Catherine and I are both from New York. She could have called it a Knights of Columbus. I'm at the American Legion.
Yeah, American Legion 225. It's the Oldsmar Moose Club. Not saying the right words. No, it didn't matter though. She did such a great job.
What was the name of the club on the Flintstones that the boys went to?
Was that because I'm getting the Grand Poobah confused with Happy Days.
The Grand Poobah was the guy on the Flintstones, and he was the head of the lodge. But was it the Woolly mammoth?
Yeah, because
Something?
it wouldn't have been like an elk's because they were prehistoric. So yeah, it was probably the
Was
woolly
it woolly
mammoth.
mammoth? I feel
or
like the
something.
hats were like furry.
I thought president or not president, the dad from Happy Days was the Grand Poobah.
Oh, you mean the voice? On the
No,
Flintstones?
the
Oh.
the actual like I thought that was a bit on Happy Days. That
Mr. Cunningham?
Mr. Cunningham was the Grand Poobah of whatever lodge he
Oh.
was a part of.
Maybe he was.
Yeah.
It's all one big smushy cartoon sitcom thing in my head from the 70s, but the Flintstones are actually 60s probably.
And Happy Days wasn't a cartoon.
No,
It was Tom Bosley.
I didn't mean to imply.
Yeah.
I think I said sitcom cartoons, so I kind of had a comma, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Tom
matter.
Bosley.
Tom Bosley. That was a good show. It had Henry Winkler, who's still very funny. Ron Howard,
Potsy.
classic. Potsy. Yeah. Donnie Most. I think he did something in Branson a couple months ago. Saw that.
Well, I'm surprised he wasn't at My Job, the Van Wezel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there is. It's plausible.
I love the Van Wezel. Yeah, that's the end of that sentence. So- the lineups are great. I believe that Catherine has gotten to a place where she just needs to be released
Yes.
and given an opportunity to have bigger stages and bigger venues
Yes.
and bigger platforms to share her story because it's hysterical.
It is. It is. And she's just. And you and I have talked about this privately before. I don't know. Maybe we've even talked about it on here. There's something with when someone becomes a headliner, they have the ease of going on stage and saying almost anything and getting a laugh. And I don't know if it's the way they present themselves, the way they carry themselves. And what she was saying was funny, but I mean, I can't even express. Like she just went up there and just owned the room. It was just hers.
It's so fun to watch that. It's like she's
It is.
floating.
It is.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
And it's fun to see someone from day one to, oh my gosh, like you've mastered this craft.
Day one. I'm thinking of an open mic where I met her. Have we talked about this?
I remember you and I meeting, but I don't remember the first time I met
It
Catherine.
might have been the same night. You asked me several times how to pronounce my name because you cared to pronounce my name properly, which meant a lot to me, and it was very respectful. And I thought that was really cool. Another comic that we all knew, who was actually one of the members of a troupe that we had together, one of the other gals, I'm not going to get into all the names, but she was on the stage, and suddenly someone from the audience, who was another comedian, said, "Hey, why don't you try it this way?" And I was like, the fuck? And I leaned back and I look over and there's Catherine Maloney telling someone on stage, "Why don't you do the joke this way? It'll be funnier." And she was in like a week or two.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know Catherine, she's like 5'1", $120, but she's got like the balls of a 6'3" guy. So yeah,
She's a Viking.
She's a Viking. Yeah,
Yeah, that's so funny.
yeah,
Yeah, she just says what she wants.
Yeah, so she did a great job. The Moose was it was great. They asked me to come back sometime in the fall. I mean, I'll have 2 new comedians because that was the 3rd show I did. Anytime I bring people, especially to something like a Moose, where it's always the same crowd. It's not like they pay tickets. You're basically just entertaining that particular club. So I always bring different people. So I will have to be thinking it's going to be a hard one to top because Tom and Catherine are really good, but I'll have to think of some, 2 other really good comedians to entertain the people at the Oldsmar Moose Lodge.
I will light a rosary for you
Thank you.
because that's all I could do for you.
They're going to be hearing me and my same jokes. I feel like I do well with places that I'm fresh ears to, but I feel like on the 3rd one they're just sort of like, okay, let's wait for her to get done saying that, and then the real show's going to come up.
Daddy girl.
Yeah, I got to get that out of my head, and I'm always just like, hey, I got you 3 shows. Just bear with me, and I'll bring the real people up.
I think it's great that you create these opportunities for people, and it's a way to keep the muscles going for you.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. You've always been a big writer.
I do. I like to write. I like to make the funny. I even like this. Like now, my brain's always like, what would be a good segment for Scooch Ovaries.
Oh, all day, all day. Me, I like to write a joke every 3 weeks at work, and then have someone say, "Write it down." That's what I do.
Write that down.
That's what I
Write
do.
that down.
No, I've always admired your work ethic when it came to writing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, look, a compliment.
Look at
We should make a
me.
sound effect when I give you a compliment. What would that sound effect be? This is very hacky of us.
How would this sound effect be?
Oh my God.
What? Why are there crickets? Oh, you know what? I don't think
That's not the right thing.
That's not the right thing. You know what? Let's try it again. Give me a compliment.
No.
Okay.
I've always admired your work ethic, Robin Savage. That's not.
That's okay. We'll cut that part out.
Will we? No, we will.
Yeah.
How'd you make that happen?
Oh, you know what? Okay.
This is Bluetooth. This
Oh,
is
that's
sound effects,
Bluetooth.
and then you have to hit these buttons, but you have to hold them
I'm hitting that. Oh, okay. Okay.
slowly. Like you press down and wait.
Okay. Here, let me compliment you.
It's not working that way. I compliment you. You don't compliment me.
Hey, Mary, do you have any more bacon left? Say
No. So this is the kind of stuff I want to avoid on the podcast. The use of the sound effects, because I label that hacky. But if it...
no. Sad face.
Oh, Robin,
I know.
I really admire your work ethic.
Thank you. I admire your work ethic. For those of you who are listening, I only come in and just like say stuff. This guy is the one who edits it, who puts it together, who distributes it. Like it's you've got a work ethic yourself too, my friend.
I really appreciate that, Robin. Thank you very much. And if you'll continue to call me a guy, that'll make me even more comfortable because I'm a lesbian. I'm like the opposite of a guy.
This sassy little gal over here, she does all the computer typity type stuff.
Sassy little girl isn't good either.
Yeah. I said gal, not girl.
No, yeah, yeah. This guy.
This guy over here.
It's gonna be so loud.
I know. I'm screaming. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. It was very funny. I enjoyed that. So the thing was, though, I gave you a compliment. We were going to try to do a sound effect for that. But the point is, your work ethic is awesome.
Oh, back at you,
Thank you.
friend, lady.
With a question mark. Yeah. Friend? Lady? So this brings us to our last segment, which is called segments that didn't make it onto the show as segments.
Okay. The first segment that didn't make it onto the show as a segment is the segment Beanie Babies. Are they making a comeback?
No.
No.
You know, the one I think would be a great segment that never made it to be a segment. What did you have done at the nail salon this week, Robin?
You know me, I like my nail salons.
I don't go either.
Yeah, I don't have the time.
We don't go to nail salons. But that reminds me, though, I think you want to talk about your feet.
I do. I've been wanting to go to the nail salon just to like get the pedicure because I feel like my feet are turning into hooves. So I wouldn't mind just getting a once over. They don't even have to pretty them up any. Just kind of get in there and squash them and de-skin them or whatever they do. Make them real soft. And then, another 5 years I'll go in there. I just haven't done it yet. But I need to. One of these days I do.
So you're telling me that you're turning into Pinocchio when he was turning back into a real boy, but they turned into a donkey and he got like hooves?
Yes.
I went all the way over there.
Yes.
Coming up with a reference to hooves.
I have what I like to call Geppetto feet. They are turning back into his doll.
Well, I mean, we want to tell everybody to calm down, all the sexy talk on the show. I don't go to nail salons either. I went a couple times in my life. I advise you to go for your feet if you want to. Just make sure it's a brand new salon and it's got all new tools and that they bring new tools out when they work on you.
I was just going to go to the one closest to my house.
Well, that's another way to go.
The one that I have to spend the least amount of like gas money getting to. That was my plan.
Convenience is more important than possible fungus on
Yeah.
your toes.
Do you mind if I do my next segments that didn't make it as a segment?
It is my pleasure for you to continue.
Mary, what did you buy at Ulta segment?
Where did you go shopping?
Ulta.
Isn't that a makeup store?
Yeah.
That's funny too, because you don't go to the makeup store.
I don't go to the makeup store.
I only went a couple times, and it was following friends in, and it was awkward.
Mm-hmm.
But it does smell nice in there. If we can go back to feet for a second, I got a question. We're going back to feet, ladies and gentlemen. Come with us on the foot journey. I went to the doctor recently, and
oh yes, I'm sorry.
You sorry that I went to the doctor?
No,
recently?
I know where this is leading to, and I powered through and went to the next segment.
Power through anytime you want. We're gonna have like 3-hour episodes if we don't. So interrupt when possible. Good luck to you. I tend to talk a lot. I don't know if you understand that, listener, but. See, I'm just calling them listener. You're like friends and fans, person who is listening right now. This is the level of intimacy I want with our listeners.
Person who might be in either their car or some sort of waiting room and needs to occupy their time. This is our facts.
I think they're at the gym.
You think they're at the gym?
Yeah, and it's not on the overhead speaker. It's on their AirPods.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the right word?
And they're not really admitting to it. People are like, oh, what are you listening to? And they're like, Rihanna. Like, they're not saying, oh, Scooch Ovaries.
Does that say ovaries?
Why are you listening to something with ovary? Now, speaking of body parts, you were talking about your feet.
Yeah, my doctor said to me that I have close set toes. And I found that disturbing because I didn't know that was a phrase. I also may have heard that when he said something else, but I heard close set toes. Because we were talking about the fact that lots of people can separate their toes and even pick stuff up with them. I can't consciously say separate toes. Like, that's not a thing. And you wouldn't have to say it out loud. I guess you guys just do it. But everybody I know can do that thing where their toes just separate. Mm-hmm. I can't do that with my toes. And like, you guys can pick stuff up and throw it around with your feet. And I'm like, monkey feet. I can't do any of that. I just have like a toe situation where like I can make my big toe go up and down. That's about it. I can curl them. I can curl my toes.
You can crinkle them?
Crinkle them? They're
Curl
not
'em?
French fries. What's happening? I can waffle fry them. What is happening? What?
Can
Julianne toes.
Can you put them together, cross them like you're doing a toe prayer?
Oh my God. Toe prayer.
Like your feet together.
This is another great name for a band.
It is. Hey guys, with a toe press coming at you.
No, I can cross. Well, I'm wearing flip flops right now, and I'm trying to do it. And it's complicated. I can cross my first and second toe. But I can't do the thingy that makes them open up. And I was like, why? Why is that a thing that I can't do? Why doesn't God give with both hands? Why did He choose to give me all that He gave me and say, no, I'm not giving her the toe dexterity?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I once knew a man who had no shoes, and then I met a man who had no feet. So that is our really super thoughtful thing for today.
And that's evergreen.
That, my friend, is evergreen.
And also, fuck you, because you know what? I want to be able to do that. Don't give me like, what? Oh, you can't do that one thing, but you have all these other things. I'm like, I know, bright side, blah, blah, blah.
But you got feet and you got shoes, so sorry you can't make your toes widen. No, I mean, that's everyone has their crosses to bear in life.
It's definitely a cross to bear. It's a huge, it never comes up. It came up once at the doctor's. I think I said it to my other doctor, but she would always just be like, like she would let me go on and on. I'd like make myself cry at her office. She's like, where you going? What's happening? Maybe yoga, Mary. Cut down on the caffeine. She used to tell me that.
Didn't he say you have to kind of to give your piggies extra scrubs and extra dry time?
Make sure you dry them real good. And I said, I do, which brings us to our other segment, which my response to him should have been, and which is something you and I are going to say more and more. What am I, an animal? Of course I fucking dry my toes. What am I going to just like shove a sock on? Because I live in Florida, but I wear fucking socks. It's none of your business what my feet look like.
I do too. Yeah. So
there's stuff. You don't want to step on it.
And again, I think if I would pretty my feet, like getting the pedicure that I keep thinking I need to get, I would probably wear the open-toed shoes. But Right now, it's a hoof situation.
I would pretty my feet. It's a hoof situation.
It's a hoof
Again,
situation.
Everybody, I'm sorry I didn't know it was going to be an X-rated show with all this sexy talk. What the fuck, Robin?
We need to really rein it in, or we're going to have like the FCC have ratings on this.
They're not even going to know about
They don't
us.
care.
It's fine.
It's fine. Everyone has a podcast.
They should if they
They
don't.
should, yeah.
I could help them. We'll produce it.
Yep.
Listen, I think we covered a lot in this episode.
We have covered so much.
Did I tell you I say that at work, like after a meeting or a chat by the copier? We've covered a lot in this episode. Always gets a laugh.
And this is probably for another episode.
Oh, then definitely give it away now.
Okay. We'll save it for later.
Oh, no, you can't do that. Go
Oh,
ahead.
no, you, in general, you incorporate your comedy in your work, and I don't even claim to be a comedian. Like, no one who I work with in my regular life knows I do anything with comedy.
Oh, I only disclosed it second to a lesbian. I'm like, hi, my name's Mary. I'm a lesbian. I'm a comedian. My mom's dead. You know who else died? They're like, hey, gotta run. I'm like, oh, yeah, it was nice to meet you. Mary, he doesn't work here. He's a messenger. Why are you doing that? Well, he seemed like a nice guy. Nice fella. Came by and introduced himself. I had a therapist once tell me, well, Mary, you build a false intimacy very quickly with people. And I said, who's to judge if it's false?
Like, when you tell the messenger everything there is to know about you, he didn't even speak English.
No.
That may not be positive, false, true. I don't know what the opposite would be.
I'm going to work on it.
Genuine?
Genuine's a good word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look, I never claim to be perfect.
No one is.
No.
No one
But I'm
is.
pretty sure Scooch Ovaries as a podcast could become a perfect podcast.
Maybe it already is the perfect
Yeah,
podcast.
we could check with our 3 followers and find out, which are you and me.
And the accounts that we've forgot that we had, but then went back in and opened them just to follow Scooch Ovaries.
Is that how we did it? I don't know how we did it. Can't remember anything. I only retain water. I can't remember how it all happened. Look, it's very important that you all come back next week because this is going to happen every week. And this is episode 2. And if you made it through to the end of episode 2, kudos.
And they're actual weeks. We're not going to just like eat lunch and then record another one.
That's not going to happen.
No, never.
Wink,
Check the
wink.
tapes. We're going to have new shirts on.
We're going to have new shirts on, but our hair will look the same. I don't think my hair has ever looked the same twice, so that's going to be interesting. You and I have very specific hair.
We have very specific hair, but sometimes it's poofy, sometimes it's less poofy. And I have a feeling maybe our next episode we'll get our hair just right. And new shirts.
I think so. Hey, you guys have been listening to Scooch Ovaries. We want to thank you for joining us and hope you'll come back next week. Tell your friends. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, YouTube.
Wherever that you can follow us.
We are available on Spotify, Apple. Eventually we'll be places that you don't even know exist that are new.
In the microchip in your head, follow us there.
Don't joke. That could happen.
I know.
Science.
That's
going to be another one of our categories, our segments that don't happen. New science discoveries. We're not going to do that.
No.
We don't care.
We don't care.
Anything else you want to say to the folks?
No, I will see you next episode.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Scooch over.
Hey, can you scooch over?
You want me to scooch over?
Just a little bit. Scooch.
Scooch?
Scooch.
Scooch. Scooch Ovaries.